Hey everyone, Pupsker here, and today in Warframe, I wanted to talk about my most used Warframes and weapons on my account. This account is about 9 years old, I think, and it is very strong, okay? All of the weapons that I use generally, or I use it for utility, or one reason or another, okay? I'm messing around and I'm also like live streaming vertically on YouTube and, you know, on Twitch as well, just normal live stream while I'm recording this video. So if you see a weird vertical live stream of me just talking, don't worry about it. That might relate to this a day or two early. Let's go over most used, strongest, best Warframes and weapons on my account, and I'll discuss why I use them oh so much. Starting off with my Warframe. You might think it's Mirage because I picked her. Oh no, that was a cop-out and a goof and a gaff. It's actually Protea. So I have so much time in Protea, it's insane. I think I've put hundreds of hours into her, casually running her because I like her abilities. But why do I like her abilities so much, right? That's the question. Grenade Fan is a good weapon. It cuts enemies, does damage to them, and then it has the other side of having invincible 24/7 shield gauge. So like Grenade Fan's one of the weapons that I like more on her and that I like using a ton. It's just so strong and it'll deal a ton of damage as well as give you permanent shield gating essentially, because you're never going to run out of shield as long as you remember to throw the shield down onto the ground, right? So infinite shield gate and slash damage. You have your secondary weapon, which is Blaze Artillery. It's an amazing weapon purely because it'll spawn little turrets and they'll do a beautiful fire damage. Like, look at that. You see that? Oh my god. It's usable and strong in both Steel Path and non-Steel Path because of the infinite scaling that it does. Each hit it does, it increases the multiplier of damage by 1 to 2, depending on how many enemies it hits. So then one full rotation of the turret is pretty much enough to kill all of those little enemies right there. While the duration could be longer and you have to invest a lot of stats into there, that's okay. Third ability is just like a little fountain that gives you health, ammo, and energy, so it's good, but it could be better. And then her fourth ability is useless, so I helmet it off for something like Eclipse, Nourish, the Zataw's Whisper, something like that. But I've definitely put so much time into Protea because she's always been my favorite frame in that regard, right? You just throw the turret right here, and if it gets a lot of that multi-shot, it kills them a lot faster. So when enemies are in bigger groups, the turret does a lot more damage and cleans house just a lot faster. So I love it. It's great. 10 out of 10. Would recommend. I love Protea. Okay. She's just such a great frame. If you want to be perfect about it and be like, triple cannon, you're all gonna die, then you do that and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, they just destroy the enemy. So I like her cannon setup. I like the engineer aspect that she has, so that's why I've used her so much, put so much goddamn time into her. Next up, though, we have my primary weapon. What do you think it's gonna be? I'm taking votes now. It is the Exceltra. If you've paid attention or watched my channel, you might know this already because, oh god, I use this so much. But my most used primary weapon, it's actually the Exceltra. Because it's a good crit weapon, it has good AoE, a good shot, good damage, slash, right? All nice, or sorry, impact and slash on the AoE, it could be better like there, but it is still really strong. It's acquired somewhat early in the game. It's Gauss's primary weapon, signature weapon, and I just like it because it was a really strong crit weapon. It got nerfed with the ammo nerf. My general build on this is just damage and a Riven, nothing special. Now that the Exceltra Prime is out, I will be swapping that out and using that as well. And yeah, if you quickly want to look at my Protea build, I don't mind, there you go. But the Exceltra is just a worse version of the Exceltra Prime, but it is still a very good weapon overall. So if I spawn up the strongest level enemies, I don't know if these will actually kill them. It should. Yeah, like I can still kill some Steel Path level enemies, higher level enemies, just chilling. It still gets to their health. So even the Exceltra is overall pretty strong, still a good weapon. It's just the Exceltra Prime will be better, or maybe those those are non-Steel Path. If I spawn a bunch of Steel Path level 195 enemies, it might be a little different, but we'll see. I also don't have my Arcanes built up. Yeah, so it won't be as good. It'll kill regular enemies, but once you get to Steel Path, it really does scale down. So that's why the Exceltra Prime is now kind of a better alternative, and it just has better stats, of course. So it's better, it's recommended, it's good, 10 out of 10, would use again. But that is the Exceltra. I used it for the 4 years that it was available until the Exceltra Prime came out, and now I will be using the Exceltra Prime. So it just makes sense. The secondary weapon that I have most playtime in, believe it or not, is the Latum. So why is it the Latum? Yeah, when Protea Prime comes out, I'm eating the Protea into the helmet, and I'm Protea Priming all the way. Why and how is Latum my most used weapon? This is the general build on it. Well, simple fact of the matter is the Latum is godly. Like, it's just too strong. You can't not use the Latum once you acquire it, because once you get a taste of it, you just can't give it up. The shtick behind it, it's an Incarnate weapon, right? You headshot enemies, you gain Incarnate mode, and then go from there. You turn it into Incarnate, and it does all of the damage, right? Like, look at that. It does a good chunk of damage just outright, even without getting good damage buffs. My accuracy is just dog shit, so it's made more for, like, survival spread murder. But the damage is pretty great. Once you start building up that arcane, the enemies just start crumbling down. I love it. Neo relics are any good high-level mission. You take the Latum, you kill them everywhere, right? Oh, so many relics. But Steel Hath, Latum will have no problem. The gimmick of the Incarnate doing 2,000% damage, 50% chance when it hits non-criticals. Yeah, it's just too good. So you just build this for multi-shot, damage, whatever statuses you want, and then you go and deal a ton of damage. So it makes sense why this is my most used weapon, even on my 9-year-old account. I'm not a huge secondary person, and once this came out, I just pretty much always threw it on. So it made sense for me. The Latum's a strong weapon, and it kills enemies at the speed of sound. Now, let's take a look at my most used melee, and then after that, we'll just do Companions loadout, Archwing loadout, and Operator amp. But Operator amp barely even matters, so I'll spend almost no time on that. My melee that I have most used is, believe it or not, Paracesis. This is a quest weapon you've obtained a long time ago in Warframe, and it is a very strong, beautiful heavy blade. All of my most used melees are probably heavy blades because I like big sword go swoosh, and they are cool. It has slash damage as a primary, so it's really nice in that regard. It has really good crit with 31% crit chance and 2.6 times crit multiplier, so you can, no matter what, build up the damage. And since it's a heavy blade, it has a long range, dear God, I love this weapon so much. My general build on it is this. You can throw whatever you want on it, whether that be combo. I never do combo builds because I don't care about combo. I always just do initial damage builds, and it tends to slap enemies no matter what. So would recommend. The Paracesis is just a great weapon, okay? I would never leave home without it. And if you just chuck it on, you just do a bunch of damage, throw on like Tempo Royale. Obviously, it'd be much more beneficial if I built up my combo, attacked some enemies beforehand, got that attack speed bonus, but yeah, this is the general damage you're gonna get out of just a casual build before you build your combo, before you have any buffs, right? And then you can throw on your melee like Animosity. Once you start killing people and getting attack speed, it'll help a lot more. Melee arcanes are insane, right? But obviously the ramp up starts slow. It's still an insanely strong melee weapon, and I've always enjoyed using it. But hey, 10 out of 10 would Paracesis again, am I right? So now for my companion loadouts, we are now going over companion loadouts. This one's a little goofy. I'm not really going to show gameplay because, like, who cares, right? It's a companion. I've used Helios Prime the most out of any companion with the Sweeper Prime. Primary reason, I don't really care about the weapon here. So I just threw on Sweeper Prime. He does damage. Cool. Awesome. Main reason I used Helios Prime all of the hours I did is both for obviously vacuum. It's nice, it is useful, cool, but more so for the investigator tab, right? Definitely more so the investigator tab, lol. This, well, mod is a mod that makes it so Helios Sentinel scan enemies and objects within 50 meters over 2 seconds, and it scans or uses a codex charge, right? Hey. So this is the main reason. That is literally it. Only freaking reason I use Helios Prime and the Sweeper Prime as a general combo. It's like, yeah, the damage on the Sweeper Prime is good enough. Cool. Awesome. But Helios Prime scans stuff for the motherfucking codex. So all hail Helios Prime. He's such a nice companion like that. Okay, you just can't get enough of Helios Prime. So that's my general companion loadout for companion and weapon. It's not like the best, but I use a lot of Helios Prime, and if you want codex scans casually, it's a good idea to use Helios Prime. Next up and almost final is my Archwing. So this one's a little dumb. I have Amnesia as the main one because I never swap it out, okay? I don't care about Archwing. You have Watchful Swarm, Benevolent Decoy, Ward and Grace, right? Vengeful Rush. You can just pretty much stay invincible, not get hit, and avoid enemies with all of these. And you just fly around. That's the only reason I use Amnesia. There's probably a meta around somewhere around Archwing. I just don't care. I don't think it's worth caring about, and that's what I do, okay? It's that simple, that easy. My most used arc gun is the Mossalon, ever since the Necromex and arc gun came out with it. Most used. Damage is really good, shoots really fast. Could probably do more damage, more crit, more other stuff, but I mean, arc gun mods just kind of suck anyways, so this is the build. It's good, right? This is my Amisha build. It's good enough, whatever. They're strong. I don't care about Archwing. Last but not least is my Prisma Veritux, or I think regular Veritux is my most used, but then I swapped it into the Prisma Veritux because Prisma, it's just a melee weapon, right? Primarily, surprisingly, impact puncture. Stats are good enough on it, but I just don't care about melee on Archwing. As you can see, I haven't even fully upgraded it, so the damage could even be higher still. So, yeah. Maybe I'll just go ahead and do that right now, just so people, you know, don't get too mad or anything. There we go. Bada bing, bada boom. We got it even more, and now it does blast. Oh god, oh dear god, what have I done? What have I done? Oh no, oh no, oh geez, oh geez. Nice, now it's viral radiation. Beautiful. I love it. It's a great weapon, but there's no real reason. The last but not least, I could go over my operator. I'm just going to quickly talk about the operator amp. I use the 177 Raplac amp as the most used, I think, is what it counts as. It's just a good single laser amp like that. Give myself a little damage buff, does a little more, right? Has the secondary fire, AoE, good. It's a good amp, I like it, gets the damage and job done. Not mad at that, right? I like it, it's good, right? There's really not much to say. I don't personally care about my amp, and I don't use it in the fact that like I think about the min-maxing meta of my amp. I'm just very casual with all of my Warframe stuff. So yeah, it is what it is. Last but not least, if I quickly go over my profile on Warframe, you can see that I have 25%, 4% used Protea, and I have 161 million experience with almost 200,000 kills. Welcome. My Exceltra, 32 million experience, 110,000 kills. Dear God, 20%. Latum, 46 with 8,000 kills, so obviously I use my secondary a lot less. Paracesis, 42,000 kills, 24% usage. Helios, almost no kills. Sweeper has, surprisingly, a fuck ton of kills with 40,000, but that's because it's 71% usage, and Helios is at 41. From there, Amnesia, Veritux, right, all of this stuff, 12 million, 9 million. Good usage, some kills, but nothing outside of this world being too strong. Either way, those are my most used, strongest, and generally just best Warframe gear, almost, that I use a lot in Warframe. So judge it as you will when you see this video. Like the video, comment down below, and check out all the social medias across all the YouTube. So thank you, and yeah.